You know, it's a visual thing. I'm not a word person. If I was a word person, I'd be a writer or a poet. And so to try and describe the paintings in words for me, just doesn't make sense. They're a visual thing. They're a silent image. There's no recording going with them.
Yeah.
So they just speak in paint and colour and shape and form, you know. They're more meditative in a sense too, you know. That's the way I view paintings, and I like paintings that give you that just kind of grab you for a while and hold your attention. And you don't even have to really understand them. They just, for whatever it is, there's a reaction. And that's what I try to achieve anyway. It sort of seeps into your creativity through whatever means, and it comes out the other end. I mean, what would you call it? That's the creative energies, the creative process. I don't really know how it works, and I don't really question it too much. Yeah, I think getting into the landscape, being part of it, doing it, living it, working it. Like going back to the idea that, you know, going to art college, and I hadn't a clue. You just needed to anchor yourself latch onto something that you felt, you know, it wasn't false, that it was true, that it was real.
Yeah.
And paint what you know and paint what is real, and not go off into this other world of like you can't really grab it. But you know, you go to art college and you paint sort of from the age of 4, whatever you draw from the age of 4, but you not really feel you're connected with anything. You're just drawing for drawing's sake and painting and you always feel you need to latch onto something that excites you. And it wasn't until I started that I lived down here for a while, and I had the opportunity to go out around the islands here. And I was so taken by that landscape, that, you know, coming from the inland Kilkenny, where, you know, you don't have that other universe out there, you know, it's a completely different world. So it was just picked up and landed into this beautiful landscape. I just I suppose you could say I was inspired, but I don't know. I mean, I just felt I had to do something about it. So I started to paint. And then Ballyferter, there's a local exhibition every Easter, and I put a couple of paintings in there, and they sold. And it seemed to just start from there. Then the interest grew, and I had my first sellout show in Dingle. That's canvas. But I prefer to paint on board because I use the paint quite roughly, and I use cloths, and I use all sorts of rubbing techniques and palette knives. So you need to put pressure on the surface sometimes.
Yeah.
So canvas cannot be suitable. So you just, you know.
Yeah.
And then every surface there's a difference in the painting as well. Sometimes I paint on paper. There's one painting up there is oil on paper.
Okay.
And that gives a completely different texture. So, I mean, and I went away from painting Nave Oaks for a long time as well. I said, I can't be doing this all my life, you know, I can't just paint Nave Oaks, and here I am back again painting Nave Oaks again. But I think they're coming from a different angle again, right? In the sense that when I first started to paint them, I didn't feel, and that was before I even got into one, I was painting them.
Yeah.
I didn't feel I had to, in a way, like, would you say I had the right to paint them? I don't know.
Sure.
Or I earned the right to paint them, coming into a different culture, a different place, coming from a different place. So I felt I had to just get out there and get the opportunity to make one and go in one.
Yeah.
And now I feel like, I suppose I've kind of earned it the hard way.
Yeah.
By rowing from Dublin to France and all that, you know. I think throughout the Camino trip I'll be working on Nave Oaks. And I'm hoping that towards the end of the trip, when it's completed, that I might even have another show here.